Hello guys, so today we are going to learn how we can connect Flutter with Firebase as well as how to do simple authentication as well the forget password thing. So we are going to first connect our app with the Firebase. So I've just created a new Flutter project, a simple project, and I've created nothing yet and the basic project that we get when we first make a project. So before starting with the project, let's go to the Firebase console and create an app. So I'll just name it Firebase Connect and let's say I've set the name of my project as auth and forget. So let's just name it as auth and forget. Basically tell that it contains the Firebase authentication and the forget password thing. So let's continue. We don't need the analytics for this project, so create a project. Meanwhile, we need two things. The first one is the Firebase core to basically connect with the initial Firebase thing, and the second is the Firebase auth. So I'm just going to pub.dev and I'm just going to find search for the Firebase core. The latest package is 2.4.1 and body. And in here, go to the pubspec.yaml file. Under the criticalnote icon, paste this Firebase core, as well as I need the Firebase auth pack to basically use the authentication thing in the Firebase. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it and then save it. So it will run the flutter pub get run and it will get the dependency for our app. Okay, so exit code 0, it means that the dependencies were downloaded successfully. So we'll just close it and come here. So now we're going to go main the dart, and from here I'll first remove the sample code, and here I'm going to create my own class as a login screen. I'm going to name it as login screen. I'm going to make it and now. So I'm just going to make a new folder to basically separate my screen, and this will be as login start. Okay, let's spell that and start. So I'm going to make a stateful widget and the login screen and going to the main.dart, thing it, porting it. So I'm just going to rename this auth and forget. Okay, so first of all, I need the two text fields my app. Basically, into scaffold and app bar, be a simple app bar with some text, and the text will be auth forget, and let's just leave it as as this forget. Okay, so the next thing we want over here is that to create a body, and the body will have basically two widgets. So it use the column and the children, and here I'm just going to create a simple UI just to get the two text fields, the email and the password, a button to basically get the do the authentication thing, and another button to basically use the forget password. So I'm just going to create text field. It will be a simple text field with the decoration, input decoration, and the input decoration will be I'm just going to give it hint. The hint text will be the hint text, let's say email, and basically use the same text field. I'm just going to select it and then copy the text field. It's the thing of reusability, that instead of writing the code again, just copy that code and use it somewhere else. So here is the password. So mind you, we need to provide the controllers for these things, for the text field. So I'm just going to make two controllers, text editing controllers. The first one will be email controller, and the second one will be password controller. Okay, so let's just make them late, because late identifies that the field will be initialized late app. So in the inner state, we are going to initialize them. The email controller is text in controller, and the same with the password controller. So I'm going to do this password controller, and as we have initialized them, we also need to dispose them. So we'll use email controller dot dispose. Same for the password controller. So this is done, and here in the controller thing, we will assign the controllers to our text fields. So the first one is email controller, and the second one is the password controller. So the password controller over here, and the input declaration, make them constant. Okay, so as these will be a bit to attach, going to use a size box with a height, let's say 20, just to separate them, and another height box, size box with the height of 20 to, and then I'm using an elevated button, and the elevated button will basically take the on press as well as a child. The child will be text as of now because we want simple text. So let's just say star, or let's just make it as login. So as this is done, just remember that this is a login screen, and we need a password, the sign up screen as well. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to use same login screen and make it as a password. So I'll just use the same login and make use of it as a sign up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that in here I'm going to make two buttons. The first one will be login and the second one will be sign up. Okay, and just going to create some space between them, and the space will be, let's say, 10. Okay, so to make the UI a bit understandable, I'm just going to run the application, the emulator, and then show it to you. So my emulator is selected over here, and I'm going to start it. So the first build takes some time, so I'm just going to pause the video and resume it when the app has started my application. Okay, so my app is up and running, and here you can see there are two fields, email and forget password. So forget, sorry, password, and in here I have two buttons, login and the sign up. So basically what I'm going to do is that first of all I need to connect my app with the Firebase. I've just forgot that, and basically I've the imported the two packages, and the Firebase Code 4 and the Firebase Auth. So now I'll have to close my app, and after some things I'll rerun my app. So I'm just going to close this tab. So my in the Firebase console, the project is ready. So I'm going to continue, and here what I'm going to do is that first of all I want to connect my Flutter app with the Firebase. So I'm just going to click next. So first of all, you need to basically activate the Flutter Fire CLI. So I'm just going to the command prompt, and just for command prompt. open it, paste the command and press it. So it will just get the Flutter Fire CLI, and now it's showing the activated Flutter Fire 0.2 the time of recording. Okay, so I'm just going to close it, and next copy the command and paste it in the terminal, and this terminal is basically where the project is resides. So I'm just going to paste it, press enter. What it will do is that it will use the Flutter Fire CLI, and it will basically fetch the project from my Firebase console, and as it is connected with Firebase, so there won't be an issue. So the Android is the only platform uh, for which I want to basically configure. So I'll just press enter. Okay, yeah, enter. So it will basically check for a register app. If there isn't any register app, then it will register it by itself. So it's just showing registering a new database app on Android. So just wait for it, and as it is done, then our app will be fully connected with the Firebase. Okay, so our app is connected with Firebase. I'm just going to move it. So the next thing we want over here is that we want to initialize the Firebase in our application. So we have to do this for in the main, and before the run app, just going to copy this, use get the Firebase core as well as the Firebase option. And the next thing we want is that to make this sync, and before that we want to use widgets flutter binding dot store sorry dot ensure initialize. Okay, so now my app will be, so I'm just going to rerun my application and come when it is done. So my app is up and running, and as we can see that there is no error, and in the console, in the debug console, we can see device unlocked initializing all Firebase APIs for app. So it means that our app has successfully initial the connected to the Firebase. Okay, so what we want to do next, just going to wrap it with padding so it looks a bit nice. And okay, so these are the two buttons. So first of all, what I'm going to do is that I will put email password, then press the sign up button. So what the sign up will do is that it will basically go into the Firebase and make a new user using the email and the password. Okay, and the next thing is that when we have created a user, then when we will enter the email and the password, then we want it to basically log in to the screen. So I'm just going to print the information in the debug console, and it will be much easier for you to understand. And as it's a simple tutorial, so there won't be any issue in that. And first of all, basically enable the authentication in our application. We want to go to the Firebase console and enable authentication for our project. So I've started I've enabled the authentication, and we have to go native providers, email and password, enable and save. So once this is done, we have added a provider, the email and password provider, and now we can start with the authentication in our application. So in the sign up button, I'm not going to call the code directly. Instead, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a function, and this will be called as sign up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that if sorry, we are going to check first of all that if email controller dot text dot is empty, or the password controller dot text dot isn't. So it means that the one of the field is missing some text, and or it's empty. So we don't want it to be empty, right? So what I'm going to do is that if it's the email controller email is empty or the password is empty, what we're going to do is that we want to log. It's basically this the like print, but I'm going to use log because log is a much efficient way to do. And here I'm going to write one of the fields is empty, is empty. So it will just simply indicate that one or other field is empty. The next thing we want is that if both of the fields have some text, what we're going to do is that we want to use Firebase auth dot instance dot create user with email and password. So we just remove it, and here what we want is that we want to give an email as well as a password. So I'm just going to copy this email controller.text, paste it here, as well as the password controller.text. So paste it here, and this is done. So then what we want is that I'll just print something, and in here I want to basically I'll just make it as success, or I'll just say it as signed up. Okay, and then what we want is that if we encounter some error, what we want over there, then on error we basically log the error dot toString. So it will just indicate that if we encounter some error, what was the error. Okay, so this is done. I'll provide this to the button sign up, and sign up. I'm just going to do it as this. Okay, so our app has reloaded. So if I just press sign up, the debug console says one of the fields is empty. So yeah, email and password both are empty. So what we're going to do is that I'm just going to say it as user1 at gmail.com. It's just a simple, yeah, Gmail, the email, and I'm just going to say that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Um, me, mind you that there is a limit, the minimum limit. It's I guess 5 or 6 characters for the password. If it doesn't need that, the Firebase gives us error. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on sign up, and here it says that signed up. Basically, we have signed up successfully with the email and password that we entered. So I'm just going to go to the Firebase console. In the users tab, here it is user1 at gmail.com. It was created on January 9th. It's January 9th. So yeah, this is working. So the next thing we want over here is that our password is 1 2 3 1 to 9. Okay, so in here I'm just going to create a new screen in the screens folder, and I'm just going to name it as home screen. And in the home screen, it will just simply tell that the home screen, so there won't be any much things here. So the material but start and move this, I guess here. Okay, oh, okay, so in here there will be a scaffold with centered text. This is a home screen. Okay, so this is done, and when we will basically log in, we will be prompted as okay, you are in the login screen. So I'm just going to create another function over here just for login, and the sync. Okay, so we want the same logic that if one of the fields, email or the password, are empty, we want to print. So I'm just going to copy this if here and paste it, and then I'm going to go in the else that if the two fields have some text in there, so then what we want is that we want to use the Firebase hot.instance and then dot sign up with email and password. Sign in with email and password. So I'm just going to use this and then provide it with the email controller.text as well as the password controller.text. So what we want to do over here is that dot then. So then what we want that if we have successfully signed in, what we want to do, we want to move to the next. So navigator dot off context dot push serial page route, so serial page route, and in the builder want to give the context, then we want to tell the screen, so it's the home screen that we want to go to. So constant, so constant, okay. And then if we encounter some error, like in the case of create user with email and password, just going to copy this dot on error and paste it right here. So in case of any error, we will be notified with that. So just for checking, I'm just going to press the sign up again, and it should give us some error that the user with the same email is already present in the database or it's already authenticated. Just click sign up, and the email address is already in use by another account. So you've just got log that says the email address is already used by another account. So I'm just going to, leave it as it is and click on the login. So I've clicked the login. Okay, I have not provided the login button with a function. So I'm just provided with that. And here, yeah. So now click the login button and it should move to the next. I guess if not, okay, the hot is and login button. Okay, so we have moved to the next screen and to the home screen, and what we have done is that it has basically gone in the login function. It has checked that the fields are not empty. Then it has used the sign in with email and password and used the same email and the password to sign in. So if it was successful, it used the navigator and it moved to the home screen. The home screen has a simple text. This is the home screen. To show you, it's just the live. I'll just make it as home screen 1 3, and here you can see the changes are shown. So this is done. So what you want, the next thing. So in here, I'm just going to remove this and just remove the center as well. So I'm just going to make a column, and the column will have children. What we want over here is that it won't be constant anymore. So I'm just going to make elevated button. So the elevated button over here is going to basically make signing with email and password. And in here, what I want to do is that to make the forgot password, I'll be using this. So first of all, I'm going to, or I'll just leave it from here and make it in the login screen. So we can use the same text field with the forgot password. So I'm just going to save it and move back. So in there here, I'm going to make another button, and the button will be responsible for the forgot password. So just going to make it as forgot password. So forgot password, what it's gonna do is that this function forgot password, this will be an existing function, and in here we only want to check that the email field is not empty. So if it's empty, we are going to log it, and we are going to write it as email is empty. So if it's not empty, then we want to do is that we want to use the Firebase auth dot instance dot we are going to send password reset email. So we are just going to provide it with an okay. So we are going to use then and log, and we are going to use the value. So the value will basically tell us that what happened exactly. So this value dot to string. The expression has a type of voice value. Okay. Uh, okay. So I'm just going to leave it as dot then. Instead of dot then, I'm going to use when complete, and when complete will basically tell us that the thing was successful. So a password reset email has been sent on the email. Okay, if the password sending was successful, else what we want to do is that on in case of any error, so we want to print that error doc error dot to. So this is done, and we will see if we are having some error. Basically, it's just because um, sizes hasn't on. So I'm just going to single charge scrolly, and now it should work. There isn't any issue. So I'm just going to remove the password in here, and I'm just going to remove the password. So the next thing we want is that I'll basically click the forward password button. So okay, showing me some error. One of the see in the forward password we have called a sign up function. Then we want to call forward password function. So the forward password, on clicking on the forward password, a password reset email has been sent on the email. But if you remember, the email that I provided was not a good, was a sample email. And to basically check the authenticity, I'm just going to change it and click on the forward password again. So what it does is that it's basically showing an error. The issue over here is that password recent email has been set. It's because it's using the when complete, and then on the case of error, it's showing that there is no user corresponding to the identifier. The user may have been. So it's just simple error, but it shows that the error, the user, that the email that I provided doesn't exist in the authentication. So I'm just going to go to temp mail, and in the temp mail check I'm going to get a temporary email, and I'm going to basically use this email to sign up in our application, and then I'm going to change the password of that. So in my email field, just going to remove this and paste this email, and then I'm going to give password as 123456789. So I'm just going to click on sign up, and check that if signed up successfully. So yeah, signed up successfully. So now what we want over here is that go to the authentication and check that there will be this email, the same email that we got from temp email. Okay, so what we want next is that we want to basically get the forward password email. So I'm just going to click on the forward password, and when it shows, yeah, a password reset email has been sent. So in the temp mail, we should receive email over here. So here it is that we are getting an email, and the email says that to basically reset the password, you can go to this. And when I click on this link, we are getting same email that we have given over here, and we can change the password for this app. So in here what we want to do is that in case right now I will go to 123456789. I'm just giving the password, the password that I've set before, and I'm going to click on the login. So the login, it goes to the home screen. It means that the login was successful. I'm going back. Now I'm going to change the password. So I'm just going to set it as 012345, or let's say 6. 012345, and click it and save. So now our password has changed. If I click on the login now, we will get an error. So the password is invalid, or the user does not have a password. So what I'm going to do is that change the password right here, 012345, and click on login. So it has moved to the home screen. It means that the password change was successful. So that's how you reset the password using the Firebase email in Flutter. So that's all for now, folks.